Hello, world. Welcome to another no brainer. This is segment 4 of the interview with Captain Scott Kidd. So, we're talking about global weather changes. Did you see the tsunami? Was it a tsunami or no, a typhoon that just hit China?
No, I did not, but I know in the Philippines, they got quite a few typhoons over
Well,
there,
this
and
just happened 2
that
days ago. I just found out. I was sitting
oh, wow.
watching TV.
'Cause I don't really keep up with the news too much, but
I don't either. It just
I
happened to
know.
come through my news feed on Facebook, I think. Or no. I was actually in occupational therapy, and the my therapist was asking, "Did you hear about it?" And I was like, "Hold on, let me look it up." And sure enough, it was like a Category 5 hurricane. It was 155-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they said they evacuated 2 million people, but
Oh,
right now, I think they lost maybe 14. I mean, which is, Category 5. I mean, you would think there'd be mass devastation. But
yeah, I mean,
I don't know that we could survive a 155-mile-an-hour wind storm.
um, I would for me, just being in Florida and just being a lot of Caribbean, a lot of places on the boats and stuff, and, if it gets up, 2. That's when I started making the decision, I'm out of there. 3, I'm evacuating. There's no the part is that you're probably gonna live through it or whatever. It's the aftermath you don't wanna be around for. 'Cause
So
there's no water, no electricity,
right.
there's no infrastructure. People are probably looting houses and stuff and doing all that kinda crazy stuff. When Hurricane Wilma came, I left Annapolis, Maryland at, like, 3 in the morning. It had hit that night and gone offshore, so I left to drop my car off in Fort Lauderdale and then fly back. There I got to North Palm Beach on I-95. There was not one street light on I-95. It was
Wow.
eerie. I was driving, and I was maybe a couple other cars on the road, and, it was like an Armageddon. There was trees, debris everywhere,
Right.
and, so I had to be careful driving. Then when I got to my house, my block, I had to drive through the neighbor's yard, weave all through to get to my house, and, power was off, everything was off, and everything was fine, but, you know, then I'm unloading the car, and then this guy comes up to me and is like, "Hey, do you live here?" And I'm like, and I made my space there, and had my hand behind my, I'm like, "Hey, man, I don't know you,
Right.
and then he's like, "Do you live here?" And I'm like, if you've been watching me, because I felt like you were, I've been unloading and putting stuff in the house from the car, so I'm
Right.
probably not robbing the place.
Was it a
No, I'm just
cop?
checking. I'm just checking. No, it was some goofball lived across the
Oh,
street, or he was just, he ended up not being such a great neighbor or whatever anyway. But he's all, I'm just checking out or whatever, and I'm like, okay, well, all right, time for you to move on.
yeah.
you know,
We had I don't remember which storm it was. When we first moved here in 2016, there was a storm that came through, and we lost power. I don't think we had it. So we're on a different. So my neighborhood's split in half, and my side is on the Publix and school grid. So they get us turned on
it's
pretty
quick.
quick,
Yeah, yeah,
right? My other side of the neighborhood was off for like 2 weeks, but we were off for like 3 days, I think.
yeah.
And it was funny because I got a good old boy who lives up the street at the entrance of the neighborhood, and he had a sign out front of his in front of his house. In this neighborhood, if you loot, we all shoot. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, good enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, don't come. He wasn't lying. I mean, if you drive down my street, there's 4 cops who live on my street. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you'd be stupid to come in my neighborhood, but
yeah,
I just find it so funny because I mean, I watch videos. I mean, it's usually the big cities where they're going smashing and everything,
yeah, yeah,
and then Miami, they're hitting Fort Lauderdale, and they're hitting the stores. I'm like, why do you got to go looting sneakers right now? I mean, go
yeah.
get food. If you're all hungry, you're gonna need water and stuff like that. Go steal the stuff you need. But anyway, yeah, I remember when Charlie hit, when it came up through Yeehaw Junction, right up I-4 basically.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad one.
Yeah, but it hit South Orlando, but where I live in North. By the time it got to me, it was just wind and rain.
Yeah, it was like a big
Well,
tropical
I was living
storm.
in an apartment. I lived on the 3rd floor. I thought it'd be cool for me and my kids. We live on the high rise. I called it the penthouse. They used to laugh. And I it was the first time I'm in a hurricane in a building, and I could feel the building moving. Now I
Oh,
found out it's supposed to do that though.
yeah, yeah, it's
Taller
supposed
build,
to
yeah,
flex. It's kinda
yeah.
built to do that.
But I'm like, okay, guys, we're getting out of here. So I called my one friend. He's like, yeah, we're having a hurricane party. Come on over. So we went over. It was ridiculous. But, that we're just outside, eating burgers and hot dogs and watching all the bigger kids play out in the street. My kids thought it was hilarious, watching trees fly by, and it was just, but I was just like, "Okay, I guess this is what you do in Florida when a hurricane
Yeah,
comes."
well, that's really all you can do because everything's shut down and,
Yeah.
and you're calling people if the phones work or whatever. "Hey, you got ice? Hey, do you got this? Who's got this? Who's got that?" You know?
We've talked about getting a whole house generator,
Yeah.
and I have a friend, we and him were just talking the other day about it, and he's just like, "Yeah, I bought one when I got here, and I think it's kicked on one time."
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Well,
maybe I don't wanna
it's
spend.
the just in case thing, like, if you need it, you really need it, like
So, now let me ask you about a storm, okay? You're out on a boat. Obviously, you're watching everything.
yeah, yeah.
What when do you go, "All right, we gotta move away from this, we gotta put the boat up?" What do you guys do with the ship when a storm's coming
Well,
if you're
generally
home or out at sea?
Um, generally with the way the weather is nowadays and the way you can do prediction and stuff, we're in the pleasure craft business. It's not very pleasurable to be out in
No.
bad weather. So we can do weather routing and stuff like that, which is really advanced. And it usually keeps us out of most of the worst stuff. But on some of the longer passages, if it's more than 3, 4, 5 days, you really can't predict. If it's a storm out there, when you get out there, you just have to make it the best evasive maneuver that you possibly can, and
What's the worst you've been in?
I've been in a hurricane before on anchor, but it wasn't fun. I've been in 50, 60 knots of breeze on a sailboat, um, 60, 70 knots of breeze on a power boat, and that wasn't fun either. It's not great. You just slow down and ride it out, and luckily the boats I was on they could handle it, it's
Oh,
not
real okay, so
we made evasive, like, we went the best way we could to just kinda go with it a little bit to fall off a little bit to where we'd be out of the storm sooner than later.
right.
Yeah.
Your owners on the boat, are they freaking out, or they know, "All right, the
They're
captain's got
usually
this?"
not on the boat, usually when we're doing a passage, and delivery, they don't have that much time,
Oh,
they
okay.
and usually it could be quite boring for them, you know you know?
Right. So, I would think a storm's coming. We're in Fort Lauderdale, Jensen Beach, that area. I'm gonna go south and go around Miami and just dip off into the,
The
the
Keys.
Gulf and just hang out there for a while, or the
Well,
Keys.
it depends if it keeps going and then it comes get you and then you gotta keep going, then it's chasing you. I've done that before where you really gotta wait, make your calculated best thing. Because 'cause I've had times where I moved north and it it turned north and then sometimes it's just best to go find the best, place you can lay up for. And that's why a lot of times we go to New England or go to the Mediterranean or what have you in the summertime. So you come back after the hurricane season is over.
How long does it take you to get to New England?
New England's about 4 to 5 days. We get to go
And
straight to Newport from like Fort Lauderdale.
and is that how much gas does that consume? Like, how do you get gas? I mean,
Uh,
obviously,
we carry enough. We carry like 15,000 gallons, so
holy mackerel.
we have enough to get there.
Okay.
And if we cut it back, we can have quite a bit of reserve.
Can you make how okay, so you said the Mediterranean. Is your boat shipped to the Mediterranean, or
Yeah,
you
we would ship it over there. It's been across on its own bottom. My last boat, it was a little bit smaller, but it only burned about 35 gallons an hour, and it held almost 20,000 gallons. So the range on it was probably 6 to 7,000 nautical miles. So that's pretty far. That's 2 Atlantic crossings, just
Oh,
roughly.
wow.
So it could
Wow,
go
okay.
across and still have some left over.
So there's
Quite
no island in the middle of the gas station
well,
where you gotta
you
pull over.
can go to, like, Bermuda, you can go to the Azores, which are out in the middle of the Atlantic, the
Okay,
Canary Islands, where they have fuel, and, usually a lot of people fuel up, like, in Gibraltar. That's over on by Spain because it's, the tax advantage fuel place. So,
okay.
yeah, it's not like you really could pull over and get gas or anything. You have to really do your fuel calculations to make
Yeah.
sure that you make it.
There's no Buc-ee's out in the middle somewhere where you can
No. Well, one would wish, one would hope.
one would hope and
Maybe
wish,
one
right?
day, maybe
Yeah.
one day.
And right now you're on your ship right now.
Yes, I'm on there. We're in the shipyard, and thankfully it's only about an hour away from my house, and I can go home at night. But usually I'm here during the week, and then I go home for the weekends.
Well, you got pretty good Wi-Fi because, we haven't had any disturbances so far.
Yes, we have. Love him or hate him, we have Mr. Elon Musk Starlink, and it's been a game changer really for working on the boats because it is one of it was infinitely better than the Viasat because you use Viasat on the airplanes, you probably see it. You maybe know or not whether you're using it, and it was a lot slower, and it was I would call it dial up compared to what we're using now.
And
You know,
this thing's a basically a satellite link.
yeah, it's just basically a couple of flat antennas that are there on
That's
the boat.
awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and if you do, like, work remote, like, with your fencing company and stuff, you can even buy a small Starlink that you can carry with you that's mobile, and I've got heard really good reviews about it because 'cause we've thought about buying one remotely so you can put it on the tender or something. The guests can take it to the beach and use
Oh,
it for
okay.
their music and stuff, and, like, people that do surveys out in the bush and stuff, I think it'd be really good. And also for emergency, if you fall in a hole or something, you can
If I'm in somebody's backyard and their septic tank opens up, I'm
yeah,
stuck
or
out there.
sinkholes, we got
Now,
those
let me tell you
before.
what, there is a neighborhood, this is hilarious. We were talking about how Florida's getting overpopulated and built. So my neighborhood, my town, I live in Apopka, and they are
Oh, I know where
building,
that is. Yeah.
yeah, up by where I am, which was all farmland and it was all nurseries and stuff like that. They're building 9,000 homes. It's I'm like,
Wow.
ridiculous. Yeah, the other day we were trying to get out of my neighborhood and I'm like, We need a light here. This is crazy." But the new part of there's a town south of me called Winter Garden,
Okay. Yeah,
and
my daughter talks about this, said it's a
yeah,
nice place.
it's very nice, and the new part of Winter Garden is huge. I mean, they're building houses on top of houses on top of houses. No signal. Soon as I pulled those neighborhoods, I have no signal. You'd think the first thing they would do is put a tower in there. It's, like, ridiculous. So
Is
maybe I will look into that satellite because when I'm in Winter
I
Garden, I have
think you
nothing.
should. It's not very expensive. It's probably $100 a month or something like that. I don't
I'll
remember.
make my company pay for it.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I mean, it's a no-brainer for them because then your direct line, you can access everything, get the job done quicker,
Right,
you know
100%.
and then Apopka, is that near Wekiva Springs?
Oh, it's right down the street.
Yeah, I went there this summer. It was
Okay.
awesome place. It was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah, the water
busy.
is probably 70 degrees.
Yes, it was pretty busy, but
It
I
is.
did not we're going to definitely explore some more of those springs around there
Did you
just
get to
because my
see any
kids are
manatee?
no, I did not. I didn't
Okay.
go to that part, but they should
They're
be there.
the manatee are in there normally in the fall and winter, but sometimes in the summer you'll see them. But they migrate there in the fall and the winter.
Probably because it stays warm, it stays to the
Yep,
temperature
stays
there
70
low.
degrees, so
Oh, okay.
yep,
No,
yep.
it was nice. I mean, it was the only thing there was a lot of people there, but it was really hot, and I went in the water, and I was like, "This is really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
Well,
good spot."
my in-laws used to live in Punta Gorda,
Okay.
and, in their marina, there was manatee. You just go out and all of a sudden it pop
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
scare the snot out of you when you're walking, but you're like, "Hey,
There you
alright,
go.
it's a
That's
manatee."
giant and they're big. They're not
Huge.
small. Yeah.
They don't call them sea cows because 'cause they're small,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I feel bad because 'cause they're so dumb, and, I mean, people hit them with their boats. I'm like, I
Yeah.
mean, they don't even
They're
it's not their fault. They don't
they're
see 'em.
pretty docile. They just kinda float around and stuff. They're kinda cool to watch.
I
Yeah.
hate to see when they get nicked up by a propeller or something because they're just,
Yeah, and usually it's because the people are flying around and going real
yeah,
fast and
not
stuff.
paying attention.
Because you can
Correct.
see them. Most of the time, Florida, the water's pretty clear, so you should be able to see them.
So when you take your clients, and we're getting close to wrapping up, and if you want to promote your business, please make sure you give me all your information. I'll put it in the comments, and you can talk about it. Do you, when you take your clients and they want to stop somewhere and go to a beach, the island, you obviously pull into their marina, or have you had to drop anchor and
Usually, a lot of times, if we're in the Bahamas and a lot of places in the Caribbean, a lot of the islands, there's not really a lot of places we go are fairly remote. There's not really a lot of marinas and stuff. So we tend to remain with the smaller boat and take them to the beach. We have an inflatable as well. And,
oh, cool.
we have jet skis and stuff that we can take them right over and stuff. We have a lot of little toys and we do a beach setup and they can eat on the beach and stuff. And, we try to do, well, we work towards, unforgettable experience for them.
Okay, and one last question about being a captain, and then I will let you go ahead and talk about you do a little commercial for me. Um, is it true if the ship goes down, do you got to go down with the ship?
Now, not
You're like,
me. It's all right. If that's not true. Well, you definitely don't want to do what the Italian captain did when the Costa Concordia,
yeah,
where these people are still on there, and he's down at the bottom. Hey guys, get out of there! No, you
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
You make sure and get everyone off. You get everyone off, and then you
right,
you come off.
right,
You
yeah.
know,
So you're not gonna be like the Titanic's captain and ride that sucker to the bottom.
No, no, no. Wearing the epaulets and standing, it goes
Yes,
down. No, no chance. No, I'll get everybody off, and then we can make another ship or a boat or whatever.
and I
Can
didn't think
make
of this.
two people so easily.
I forgot to think of this, sorry. Um, if I have was a multimillionaire and I had a big yacht and you're my captain, I could bring my dogs and stuff. Like, do they have, like, a walking area for a dog, or what do they do?
We'd
How do they
make
go to the bathroom?
something. They usually they some people I've worked for they have little dogs. You make a little area for them, and then you rinse it off or whatever. You can buy those little beds or those little doggy bathroom things or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Okay, cool.
it can be tough when you're at anchor because then you gotta go take them for a walk and stuff. You gotta take them to shore and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, heaven forbid, my dog, I've got a black lab, he'd be, like, trying to jump over side to go swimming.
Probably in the water all the time.
Yes, he if that's why I do not have a pool.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, Scott, give me a 2-minute elevator pitch on your business, and then, we'll call it a day.
Well, if you guys wanna find out more about what we're doing, all our development projects that we're doing, my website's pretty easy. Has all my social media, my podcast, the Yacht Captain Investor podcast, and the Inner Compass podcast, my friend Eddie Austin. All our development projects, investwithscottkid.com. All my social media stuff is right there. Feel free to reach out. Love to talk to you because this has been fun. I know Big Daddy Zach has a fun audience, so let's go have some fun.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I will make sure I have all your info from your email. Send me if there's anything else you want me to put in the comments, I will.
That should be it.
I so much appreciate you being a guest tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to another fantastic no-brainer. I so much appreciate you. You can find us on all the socials. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friends, tell everybody, share, get us out there, get the word out there. And maybe one day we'll have you as a guest. Until next time, peace.